Welcome to TRISHOOL free training sessions. Let's start today in this session. We'll discuss about the form and how the form functionality works when you submit the form, what really happens, and I'll take a slight PHP code to make sure it works fine to display the code. For that, I need a server, localhost server. I think since I have a Skype and everything, localhost might not work. So all I can do is I'll use online server, any server. So let's go to form. There's the form that we're working. This one. Open that notepad. Yep. So I just wanted to make it beautiful. So here what I can do is my header tag. There was a style and type is equal to text/css. See how I'm going to change the form. All I can say is div, right? So everything, I have written everything in a single div. What I can say is margin 10 pixels, padding 10 pixels, and of course I have the form. I'll say form open and close. Hey, just width will be around 800 pixels and margin auto. So what happens when I say margin auto? It will align to the center properly, and there's a form and refresh the page as you can see, and it is properly aligned to the center as you can see. Let me open. So this is the form. As you can see, this is a form with 800 pixels and equally distributed padding, margin left and right, and everything is aligned to the center properly. But you might be wondering that it is still looking like not aligning to the center. That is because the content is aligned to the left inside the form. So if you want content to be aligned to the center, you can do like maybe say text align center. Not sure how good it looks, but let's try. This is how it looks. So this is the form. So this is simple basic form. Here we have taken input. You have taken type is equal to text. You have taken select. You have taken radio box. You have taken checkbox. Let's take a text area. All I'm taking is just take one more div. Sorry. About me. I'll just say about me, and I don't need input because I need a little bigger text area, right? So I'll take a text area. Text area is similar to input. Type is equal to text, but text area is you can it will create a big box, and there is no limit. You can use for long text and huge description or something like that. So for input type is equal to text, which we have used for first name and last name, right? This can be used for a single line, or maybe mostly single line is for single line. This is preferable. But if you have more than a line, always take a text area, which will help you. Um, you don't need to write type or something because text area itself, text area, you don't need to tell to the browser, hey, this is an input, this is a radio button, this is a checkbox. You don't need to tell anything to text area because text area itself a text area tag. So name is equal to I'll say description, right? And I'll just Go to here and refresh the page. As you can see, I've got a nice text area box beautifully. And I guess I did some mistake with the closing and open. That's the reason it's not. See, text area spelling mistake. That's the reason it was showing up everything inside the content. Now, this is a beautiful text box. Now, let's beautify these boxes and make them look good. Let's try. I'm just going to write some CSS directly to the input tag, like saying that input open close open, and I'll say background ash ef. Oh, is that the background color? Yes, of course. And border says ash ef, of course, and the font, not font. Let's try first of all how exactly it looks. Let's check. See, so, I have a gray background with a gray border. Of course, border is not perfect. Like let's say 1 pixel, solid. Perfect. Now, here inside text, if I want to change the color of that text, I can create. Actually, I can say instead of that, ff0000, refresh. As you can see, all the inputs are red color. But if you see, text is still black color. Text area's text is still black color. Because I have written CSS only for the input. Input means what? Input, no matter what type it is. Input type is equal to text, input type is equal to button, input type is equal to password, whatever it is, it's going to apply as a red color. You might be thinking that, hey, input type is equal to checkbox you have given. Where is the red color? But there is no text, right, for this. There is no value for the, there is no visible value for the checkbox and radio button. That's the reason it's not displaying. You might wonder it should change, right? But no, it should not, because this is a label. This is not the value of the input. So the value will be always hidden. We cannot see the value, whatever the inside for the type is called checkbox and radio button. So don't expect any red color changes for these two types. And what about this? It's like I need a little bigger the box, right? So now I can say, what I can say is simple. Go here, text area, open close. I'll say width is 500 pixels. 500, I think 400 is enough. Height is 250 pixels. Excellent. Let's get into stuff. Refresh the page. As you can see, it's beautifully came. So now I'll just go to here. I'll say color is red since we're following it. So you might wonder, of course this looks good, but there is by default shadow is there to the box. How do I remove that? And I want to create my own style sheet or something like that, right? And my own, however I want the input box to be displayed. So for that, you don't need to worry about, just try to take an example from outside forms. Let's say, let's go and try to take forms in HTML, right? Go here. So we submit forms. Forms example. My bad. Oh. I think it's leakup.com, yeah, the website. Let me go to survey. Yeah, beautiful. This is a survey, which I'm. No surveys are available. Seriously, my bad. Interesting. As you can see here, this has been beautifully customized. All the input boxes, all the basically check boxes, everything is beautifully customized. See, they have removed the border and everything. So the thing is, what you want is really important here. Here they have removed everything and they just put only the what is that border bottom for this, right? Let's select this. Check the CSS what they have written here. Input box secondary color. See, they have written border none, border bottom so and so, display block, padding left. So you can actually inspire from other HTMLs, or you can write your own HTML. So now all I can say is right now what I have for the text for the input. Of course, I just need. I think I'll make it red, so it will make more sense. You will see some difference at least. Or, as you can see now, once I made it to red, you were not able to see that the shadow the shadow of gray. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give a little padding to the input, so it won't look won't look congested. The text won't look congested inside the. Okay, now proper padding to the input. So now as you can see here, everything is perfect and the text is perfect. So now text area is not having some space. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some padding and border to the text area, just the same as the input. Now as you can see, nicely given border and everything is given. Sorry. Perfect. Now what we can do is just go and check these guys. So of course I have given the border and everything. This is working fine for these guys, but for these guys it's not at all working. So how can I change the checkboxes and radio buttons and everything? So see, if you want to write a different CSS specifically for these, input boxes, check boxes and radio buttons, as you can see here, there is an option already given by the browser. You can use this. Input type is equal to checkbox. So this is a selector, right? One of the selector, when we are learning selectors, we have seen that, hey, if you find any attribute, do this, blah, blah, blah. So now what I'm saying is input type is equal to text box. If you find any input with type is equal to text box, do something, whatever. So here, refresh the page. Of course, we have already given the input, type is equal to border. It's not affecting. Maybe I'll say, let's try to give a width of 20 pixels. So what it does is it has taken a width of 20 pixels, but the box is always size is 20 by 13. The checkbox size is always 20 by 13. So what if I want to change that checkbox width, and what if I want to increase the size of the radio button? So simple. So sometimes what happens is I know how to do that, but let me help you how to find it. how to search for it. Let's say just Google it, how to change the checkbox size in CSS. So actually they're showing MS transform now, which is not recommended because we have a browser compatibility issues, of course. Interesting. Let's go. Let's try, the browser issues, but still I wanna try whether this transform skill is working or not, right? It is working, but the problem is the browser compatibility issues. For that, of course, they have given a solution for for various browsers, but it might not work. Might not work for a lower resolution. So here, let me show you a few things here, which is MS. So let me copy these three things. I'll tell you about these things. Here, MS transform. MS means Microsoft. If you find, hey, if this website is open in Microsoft, use this CSS attribute. So which means actually these four are for only one purpose, to increase the size of the checkbox. But when I say this dash ms dash, it will work for IE. If someone opens in IE, use this. If someone opens in Mozilla, use this, Mozilla Firefox. If someone opens in Safari or Chrome, use this. If someone opens Opera, use this. So, but by default, there is a transform also. You need to put by default transform for the normal, regular, latest fashion browser. I mean, latest browsers, latest version browsers. So, this will resolve most of the browser compatibility issues, but still there are, on second, someone is saying something. How to keep the conditions for the password. Yes, that is basically JavaScript, which we are going to cover it little later, but we are going to enter into HTML5 after converting some 2-3 templates to HTML with using basic HTML, basic HTML4 and CSS2. So once it is done, we will get into HTML5. At that time, I'll explain you how to give a conditions using regular expression, attribute, and everything in HTML5. And also a little later we will explain how to use JavaScript to write a conditions and everything. Okay, just please, you might need to wait for a few sessions. Okay, let's close it and just go here and let's try to refresh the page, and voila, got something big, bigger than before. So now I'm just going here, I'll just say, hey, and not only for input text box, do for, here I'm doing combinations. It's not a group, it's not a group selector. It's just I'm just combining two selectors, like saying that, hey, if you find input type is equal to text box, or if you find input type is equal to radio box, blah blah blah. Do this. Let's try and refresh the page. Beautiful. As you can see now, you have a big buttons. You can change these checkboxes and everything. We will try to do that using HTML5. When you are working with HTML5, we will, or anyway, we will be working with the templates, right, and converting them. at that time we will try to use CSS to change these checkboxes according to the template, whatever the template we select from the internet. So we will select some random template and try to fight with it and complete it. Okay. So now let's try to change the border color of the checkbox and everything, right? At least for the basics. How to change the checkbox border color? See, all I'm doing is, since I'm a basic guy, which I don't know anything, I just started working. So I don't want to waste my time as well on a specific thing and just keep on going and working with it. That's it. Hmm. So here I have already given border 1 pixel solid, but still it is not applying to the checkbox. Let's select the checkbox and see what exactly happening here. So whatever I'm writing the code, it is applying only to the input boxes. Type is equal to text, but not with the type is equal to radio button and gender. Let's go and check for another option. Another option, and look at it. So I'm a guy who don't know anything and just trying to figure out about how to change the color of the background. Everyone is showing me border is equal to 1 pixel solid, but it's not working for me. So everyone is using same thing. There is no difference between border 1 pixel solid, or there is no difference between. See, here I have given in one line, right? Basically, so some people will give in 3 lines like this. Border style is equal to solid, border color is equal to so and so, border width is equal to 2 pixels, something like that. You don't need to write 3 lines. You can write in one line, which is like this. It's supposed to work. Somehow it is not working. That is because maybe the HTML that we are using it, we're not using it properly. Okay, this is the time I think we know a little more about our HTML tag. So far I've been working with HTML and given a tag as basic HTML and just straightly to the HTML. But usually if you go and check any HTML4 websites, you will find a few attributes. Let's go and check. Let's go and check very old websites. Otherwise, HTML4 doc type. Actually, you can really go through these doc types, which will help you a lot. This is a good resource. So we have a very important attribute in HTML, which is called a doc type. And we have one more attribute with respect to DTDs. So because we are saying to the browser, hey, this page I'm writing is very strict. So whatever I'm writing, if I open a tag, if I forgot to close the tag, then it's not HTML should not work. So which means I'm making it very strict. In the entire document, you have to follow all the guidelines provided by the W3C validation, W3C recommendation. So how do I know that what is the properly validated uh, code or something like that? How do I know if I did any mistake or not? So we have a validator actually. So there you can find out W3 validator. Here, I'll give you one of my website. Let's see how many errors we find. Well, we found Paramesh.me is one of my website. Let's try check. Oh dear, I have how many? So many. Okay, only 8. So total I have 8 errors and warnings, including errors and warnings, which means saying that, hey, within the comment, there is a nested comment, which is wrong. So which means I have already opened the comment tag. I don't need to comment anything inside comment tag, but still again I've used a double / comment, so which is wrong. There are certain validations that you need to follow. So it will tell detail, in detail, it will tell in detail. We can simply follow that. So let me open me. What I have written here, I'm not sure. Source. Here you can see I have used simply doc type HTML. This is HTML5 doc type. I don't want to talk about it HTML5 right now. I know it's the latest version. That's why what we need to learn. But since we are talking about only HTML4, we'll discuss about HTML4, and then we will get to know more about HTML5 by comparing it with the HTML4. Sorry. So HTML4 structure. So this is the main how you need to write for HTML4. So far we have written only HTML, right? Because I was so lazy to write everything, so I couldn't type all those stuff and then just be with it, something like that. So now this is what we need to write. So we need to tell that, hey, doc type HTML public W3C validation CT3 HTML. This is HTML4 version, and you will find this is the HTML HTTP W3org HTML4 strict.ttd. So which means whatever I'm writing here inside the document is going to be very strict, which means I have to follow all the standard rules and regulations given by the W3 validation. So now what happens is, how many types of we might be thinking, right? How many types of TTDs? So earlier days, some people are very lazy to let's say if some people are very lazy to uh, follow proper standards, like let's say if any image tag is there, for every image tag, alt attribute is there. Alt attribute is a mandatory. Of course, source is a mandatory where you give path of the image, but alt attribute is a mandatory because if image path is not available, it will display the text, whatever we put inside alt. So that is the one of the strict rule for the W3, W3C, W3.org rules. So maybe you can find it in W3C validator if you check it. So those kind of things will not be, accepted by strict.dtd. So which means if it is a strict.dtd, you have to follow. So similar that we have a loose.tdd, which means we won't consider anything serious, basically. So nope, we are not coding in HTML5. That's the reason. Uh, by default, I feel we are coding in HTML5 while we are trying to take HTML4. So first of all, remember one thing: there is no difference between HTML4 and HTML5. HTML5 is an extended version of HTML4. That's it. So it has more features. when you compare with HTML4. Whatever you are learning is nothing, change when you convert it, when you're working in HTML5. When you start with working with HTML5, it will give you a little more comfort. That's it. So don't worry that we are working in HTML4. It's nothing. You don't see a difference. You just don't consider that they are completely different. No. So whatever you're learning here in these sessions, you're going to use it, of course, in HTML5. So which way you're going to start in 2-3 sessions. Anyway, actually today's topic is showing the form, basically how to submit the form, but today's topic is going to completely changing the form, CSS and everything. But still, I think it's a good session. So we will I'll try to do it a little fast with the form submission and everything. Let's see how it goes. So frame set, if you're using frames frame sets in your documents, you can see. So if you want to know more about it in detail, you can simply click on it and read about it. So since I'm going to use HTML5 only, why the heck I have to learn all this stuff? But if you know these basics, you will become a very strong with respect to browser compatibility issues. So you need to read all this stuff. If you can, just go through it, try to read this, and you will get to know a lot of things to avoid any browser compatibility issues. So let's start. My form is there, right? Okay, this is the thing, and just refresh the page. Yeah, of course, my still border is not working, even though I have added properly HTML tag. So that is not an issue. So that we will resolve it when we are converting a template. Let's not waste time on that. So today's consideration is simple. What happens when I submit the form? That's the idea. Register. When I register, it is going to form values.php. So now, where is it? This is form. Remember, here, yeah, this is a perfect source to read about the HTML actually. If you can read this, this is enough for you to understand what is exactly HTML structure. This is pretty good actually. Meta tags and everything is there. Good. Thank you, Sarita. Maybe that was open. I think we have opened that document too. But anyway. So our intention is simple. When I submit the form, the value should be displayed in the form values.php or somewhere. So now what I'm going to do is first I need to check every element, whether every element has the name attribute or not. That's very important here. So this is the name. This is the input. Name is equal to f name, right? Beautiful. We have a name tag for this. And we have a name attribute, so not tag attribute, name attribute for this. And we have a name attribute for this, we have a name attribute for this, and we have name attribute for this. And we have course name, we have name attribute for this, name attribute for this, and name attribute for this. Brilliant. So all the forms have a name attribute. Now what I can do is, I'm going to create a new file with the PHP, saying caution PHP, caution PHP. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send an email, all my form details, whatever I have here. This is a very basic, you know, thing. So now, open $fname is equal to $_ get off. There are two types, right? If I say method is equal to get, I need to say get off. If I say method is equal to post, I need to say method is equal to post. So I am just storing in a $fname is just a variable. I'm just storing in here. You don't need to worry about learning PHP here. I'm just trying to show you how the form submits, like how the values go and how the values will be captured by the third-party language, other languages like backend languages, PHP. So when you submit the form, you will be submit the form details to the uh, backend file. Backend file will capture the data and display it or store it in the database. However, you want to send an email, it will do all the process by the backend programming. So now what we have here, fname, right? So let's say I'm just copy and paste it. What is the next we have? Use uname. Let's make it quick. Uname, country. I'll just first create the variables and then I'll change the name of the. I'll change the name. I'll change the variable. I'll change the variable in the getter option. Co y and again. What is that? Okay, I forgot to change name here. See, that's my bad. It's a password, right? Whatever. You can say PWD or whatever. I'll say PWD to avoid confusion between the type is equal to password, and I'll say PWD and just save it. Go here, open our document and just say PWD. Dollar hobbies is equal to, I can say, dollar ghetto name, perfect name, whatever I have put in, HOBBIES. Remember, this is whatever you want you can give, but this is very important. This is exactly same as the input what you have. So this should be your name and this should be PWD. Sorry, my bad. Hobbies. And go here. Go for gender. Okay, good. Close the PHP tag. What does I have here? The description, blah blah blah, is equal to description. Now all I can say is, hey, its method is equal to get, since I'm accepting only get values over there in the form, right? So I'm just stored all my values to the variables, right? Whatever the variables I have available here. So now what I'm going to do is simply form values.php. Now all I can say is simple. I just want to display first, right? Echo $fname, $uname, I'll tell you, to a country, $pwd, $hobbies, $gender, $description. So I'm going to make it little fname is equal to so and so. So this is a PHP thing. I'm concatenating the things. That's it. Nothing else. I'm doing nothing else. I'm just concatenating the labels for every variable, saying that this is a fname, this is a username, this is a first name, something like that. So nothing. I'm just concatenating string to the variable. So when I'm talking about normal text, I need to put in the quotes. I'm using dot for concatenating. That is a PHP thing, and the $fname is a variable. And again, this is a text, right? So I need to use is equal to, let's concatenate in dot country is equal to blah blah blah, concatenation, again concatenation, password is equal to, let's say format word wrap is there already, again concatenation, again concatenation, hobbies is equal to, again concatenation, concatenation, sender is equal to, again concatenation here at the description, and goes here, description, blah blah blah. Oh, it should be inside, right? Is equal to is also just a text. So whatever the text you are planning to put, it's always in inside quotes and concatenating with the variable. Done. Now I've created the PHP values, of course, and here when I'm trying to refresh it and register it, so of course it is going to the form values.php, but it is directly displaying the PHP code instead of displaying the values. What I'm expecting first name is equal to so and so, blah 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 blah, but still it is not. It is displaying the whole PHP code. That is the only one reason, because we need to put these files in the server. You cannot run in the local host, like in the local file. Either you run in a local host server or you run in the online server. So let's try to run these files in the online server. But before that, I just wanted to give some space for the form values.php. Where's the form values.php? All I can say is I just need a little space before this. Agree. Done. So now is this a text value or PHP value? This is a PHP script. Fine. Good. So now I'm just stopping the recording for a while. So gadget, let's test again. Forms.html. I have a lot of data here. I'll enter easy to develop and just enter some password and just enter blah 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 register. So I think I have not explained about here about the hobbies and gender, why the values are not displaying. That is a PHP thing. I don't want to drag it too much here. So since we are working only on the front end, just leave it. So basically idea is whether whatever the values we are sending, whether we are going whether the values are going or not. That's the idea. Since we are displaying everything here, values are going. So now let me check the email whether I've received or not. Yes, of course I have received. See all the information whatever I entered. Done. So yeah, I think that's it for today's session. Okay, PHP is an open source. You can download actually. You can Google it and just download wherever you want. But the thing is, it's not. Use third-party applications like XAMPP, LAMP, something like that. Install XAMPP into your system. It will install PHP, MySQL, everything. So you don't need to worry about installing PHP, MySQL, configuring, blah blah blah. So just do with it. I can simply install XAMPP or WAMP. I think XAMPP is good. Of course, WAMP is also good, but it's your choice. You can choose whatever you want. Install it. It will automatically install PHP and MySQL, which is needed for the backend development. Any more questions, Chakravarti? Yeah. Yes, I know, sir. I'm really sorry. Actually, I should have started at 6. I'm really sorry. So I'll try definitely start at 6 and close it by 7 at any cost. 7:30. Yeah. Sorry for the delay. Thanks. You can leave, Satta. Yeah. I'm closing the session anyway. So if you guys have any questions, I mean, anyone have any questions, you can just ping me on the Skype. Okay. Thank you all. Have a great day. Bye.